It's a story out of Oklahoma that is now part of its history. It's something that really happened here that was big.
FBI Special Agent Joe Fitzpatrick worked this case in 1994 when 6-year-old Michael Hughes was kidnapped from his Choctaw elementary school.
He was in my class, but now he's not there anymore.
No, he's not. Where is he?
Somebody took him.
Franklin Floyd, claiming to be the boy's father, abducted him, even tied up the school's principal in the woods nearby. Agent Fitzpatrick would soon uncover the unbelievable and gut-wrenching tale that led to this kidnapping.
Just the kidnapping of the boy was straightforward, like a lot of kidnapping cases. But then when you find out that he kidnapped the boy's mother, then you find out he killed somebody else, and you had the evidence. And yeah, they got convoluted then, for sure.
And that is what the Netflix documentary, The Girl in the Picture, unravels. Who was this suspect, Franklin Floyd? And more so, what was the true identity of the kidnapped boy's mom?
So almost every question that you finally answered led to 2 other questions.
Right.
As Fitzpatrick learned, no one in this case was who they claimed to be.
When you think back about this case, what was the biggest bombshell?
This one's easy. Special Agent Neil Hunt was doing the background on Floyd when he was living in Oklahoma City in, I think, 76 or something. And he came in with a photograph of Floyd with a little girl, which was pretty obvious it was the mother. And I remember looking at that and saying, oh my God, he's taken her too. That was a real bombshell because of all the years apart.
When you realized that she was kidnapped as a little girl?
Yes.
The suspect, under several different aliases, kidnapped the girl in the picture at a young age, pretended to be her dad, even married her at one point. And when she had a child, Michael, he claimed the boy as his own, which he was not. Agent Fitzpatrick told me something not in the Netflix show.
But one of the things that I thought was relevant was why he took Michael when he did. And Floyd was on probation, federal probation. He was at a halfway house here in Oklahoma City and had a job working at an apartment complex.
Saying Franklin Floyd broke into a woman's apartment and attacked her.
Put one arm around me and one right here, the one that had the knife in on my hip.
And KOCO5 actually spoke to that victim shortly after Floyd broke into her home.
I'm still worried about the little boy. He's still out there. I'm still in danger because he's out there.
And Fitzpatrick tells me the only reason that attack stopped, the woman's boyfriend happened to stop by.
Floyd has the girl on the floor with a knife to her throat. And so he chases him down and catches him, and he's rubbing his face in the concrete. And he tells somebody to call the police and tell them to take their time. Well, now he knows that he's going back to prison.
Franklin Floyd was caught, his probation clearly violated. He had to act.
So that's the timing on why he took Michael.
Michael Hughes still hasn't been seen since.
Is there any chance Michael's still alive?
No. I'm sorry, I've got some information I really can't give out on this, but no.
Another aspect of this story not featured in the Netflix piece, the timing.
I got tied up on a bombing case.
Fitzpatrick was investigating Michael's kidnapping along with other Franklin Floyd crimes and trials when he got a call at the FBI office. Another agent at the scene of the Oklahoma City bombing passing along a mystery number.
And he said, that's the number. And I said, the number to what? He said, that's off the axle of the truck the bomb was in. And I'm getting goosebumps right now relating this back to you.
And it was that number that led them to the Ryder truck.
I know we're gonna get him. We don't know who he is in false IDs, but the gap has closed dramatically.
Fitzpatrick told me the FBI sent a psychiatrist to the OKC office after the bombing and also wanted to talk with him about Michael's unsolved kidnapping. He remembers this conversation with that therapist.
When I'm in the mall and I see some kid running loose, I worry about that and think about Floyd taking one.
And Agent Fitzpatrick says that is why he is glad this story is finally being told and told to a new generation.
Many people say that they can't believe that there's people out there that will do things like that. I think there was just a slight mention in the documentary about the 4-year-old girl he took. And that bothered me for a little while. You got to watch the kids. He took that child out of a mall. They need to know there's people out there like Franklin Floyd.
When you were in the thick of it and learning all of these different identities and all of these horrible things that had happened to this woman, this girl, and then, of course, what happened with Michael, how does that affect you personally?
You can't help but bother you.